I am now attempting to thread the back heddle. The front one isn't on yet. What's happening here is that I've got two warp threads that will control one half of the fabric. These will go into a hole and slot in the front heddle, and these right now are being slotted into the hole on the right and the slot on the right. I warped this direct warping from left to right, and now I am threading from right to left, so that the first thread I pick up over here is indeed also the top thread, because it went through the hole last. Now sometimes it still gets mixed up, so I do have to pay attention. So I just did this slot because there's only two left at the bottom. And now I want to do this one. If I very carefully grab them like this, you see I have got 4 little threads, and the top one is the one I want to go into the slot over there next to it. So I very carefully pick up what I think is a top thread right here, and I lift it up and I check over here. I want to see that this one is also the thread mostly on the right. Now it's hard to show with also one hand on the camera, so I'm just going to put this one to the side, pick up the other 3, pull them. So I've got top thread, 3 other ones, and I see indeed that the top thread is the one most on the right. So that one will be going into the slot. And if I pull the second thread on top, so the first one is pausing over there, second one will have to go into the hole. I'm pulling that one, and that is indeed the next thread, and the 2 that are left are to the side. So right now, threading the back heddle, or what will become this back heddle, take the 4 threads, take the one that is on the top, check if it is indeed the utmost right thread of the 4, thread that one through the slot to the right of where your packet of 4 threads is. There are already 2 threads in there right now because I am busy threading this one. And then the second thread, that one will go into the little hole. The other 2 are left to rest. Then I go to the next bundle of 4 threads. The top one goes to join the 2 that was left. That were left over there. The second one of the top goes through a hole to get left, etc. And then later, after all of this is done, the front heddle will also be warped. Now we've got the front heddle ready and set up to go. I've tied it to the front one, to the back one, just for safety, because sometimes it falls off and I really don't want it to happen. I've got all my top threads that I conveniently put to the side just now, and I've got my bottom head threads. So these will be one layer, these one will be one layer. These are already going whole slot, just like when you're doing only one layer of weaving. So these also have to go through a slot and a hole. What does that mean from the front? For the front heddle, all the threads over here will be going into the correspondent slot at the front, and the little threads at the bottom, the one on the right will go to a slot, and the one on the left will go through a hole. So here as well, I will be checking which threads are moving left or right when I give them a little tug, so I know whether to put them through the slots or through the hole. So first off, the 2 top boys, these are over here. They will be going through the corresponding slot, so just straight across the road on the front. Next, I take the two that are at the bottom over here. I check which one moves on the left, which one moves on the right. This one is the one that's making everything move on the right. Just gonna pull that up so I can handle it. And I'm pulling that one through the same slot as the two top threads. Then I take the one that was moving on left, it's going up, and I'm pulling that one through the hole. Goes. Next two threads, up top, over here, I have got a hole and a slot. Pay attention, I'm taking the right ones. Here we go. A hole and a slot. Pulling that one through the corresponding slots at the front. I check the two threads at the bottom. Which one is the lefty, which one is the righty. Seems like this one is one on the left. I'm mostly doing this to not get cross threads in a bit, but even then I can still manipulate them in case something is wrong. Anyway, one on the left will be going through the hole. This one on the right is going through the slot. This one going through the hole. And then continue on. So here I am, still slaying the front heddle, and I ran into trouble because my loom got moved and stuff got moved and things fell down. But we are fixing it because we know the logic behind the threading. I'm almost there. Luckily, when disaster struck, I was already over here somewhere, so not that much to be fixed. But my system got messed up, so I had my rhythm going. The, upper two threads go through a slot, the other ones go through a slot and a hole. That's gone because of my happenstance that occurred. But I am getting nearsighted looking at it, but it's working. We're going to get there. But what I wanted to show is, just in case you also have something happening, or the system so far, you want to know the logic behind it, let's see this as an opportunity to actually learn and to fix things. So what have I got? Here at the back, I need a thread going through a hole. Please focus, thank you. Need a thread going through a hole, 3 through a slot. Then the thread that is going through a hole there at the back needs to come through the slot straight across the road on the front heddle. One of the threads that's going through the slot needs to go through the hole over here. So we have two threads that are through a hole on each heddle, which means we have 2 threads left that will be going through slots on both heddles, and those will be controlled using pickup sticks later. Not my trouble, my problem now. Problem is which thread is going where and how. So as you see, here is the mess. I've got a couple of threads that are in mysterious places, and I have to figure out who is going where. So what am I doing? I do still have all my threads in holes on the back heddle. Those are fine. So those have all been moved straight across the road through a slot. Next step, figure out which of the slot threads have not yet gone through a hole. I've got my little packet here. These are all threads that are going through a hole, either at the top or at the bottom. And then here at the bottom, I have 2 threads that are going through a slot on the front heddle and a slot at the back heddle. But they are not crossing the road. Okay, let's see. Ah, there we are. You see them moving over there? These are going through the same slot at the front, but one of them is coming from straight across the road, from the back heddle to the front heddle, and the other one, the slightly darker blue one, that one is coming from the left slot, is going through the same hole. So those are slightly offset, and that is what I'm trying to recreate over here where my situation is. So I am checking, do I have two threads that are going into a hole, one front hole, one back hole? Sorry about all the holes. And then if I check the bottom, once again, sorry about the language, if I check the bottom threads, please focus phone, please, I'm trying to. If I pull the bottom threads, do I see, please focus, focus. So going through the bottom slots, right there. Are they coming from the left and from the right? So that is what I'm trying to figure out, and what I'm trying to recreate here. So step by step, doing threads, making sure a hole at the back goes through slot at the front, one of the slots at the back goes through one of the slots in the front, and then I'm having one across the road and one from the left when it comes to the two threads that are left. And I hope this helps you out if you're into trouble. I think I've got them all now. Top threads, hole threads, bottom threads that will have to be manipulated by the pickup sticks. I'm going to tie these all off properly. This was just damage control. And then hook them up to a lower bar. Then we will use the pickup sticks and we will see whether or not too many threads got crossed that need to be fixed. Wish me luck. I am tied up and ready to do the pickup sticks. I'm going to put my heddles down so the threads that are in holes are out of the way down, and I only have the threads left that are only in slots and still have to get a pickup stick. I'm going to start by picking up every other thread here at the front, just because I find that easier, and then I'm going to move my pickup stick, the actual one, to the back. As you can see, I haven't gotten very far yet, but I wanted to show you why I'm picking up at the front, because this means I can spot mistakes more quickly. Over here, I find it very hard to know which one is the first thread and which one is the second thread. But if I pick over here, pick them up, I can see, for example, this here. See? Here I have picked up two threads that were in the same hole at the back but not at the front, and same over here. So that means I picked up the wrong one from a pair, and I am missing one here in the middle. I am missing one from one of the slots. So with my first pickup stick, I'm going to be picking up all the across the road threads, which means that if I spot one that is not going across the road but the wrong way around, thank you for focusing, camera, but is not going around across the road, I will have to fix that one. So looking from the front, it's looking good. We have a hole through each slot, and if I check over here, I have no crossed threads. So time to transfer this to the actual pickup stick that we will be using. And that's easy, just put that one to the side, on its side, and then slide in your actual pickup stick at the back. Here we go. So previous time I did a double weave, I made quite some mistakes at the back here, and I picked up my threads at the back with the pickup stick, and then I had a lot of trouble. So then I picked it up at the front where I could see the result, which meant that I could correct immediately. And even at the back it didn't make sense. It wasn't every other thread, it didn't agree with the instructions from the blog post I was following, but over here it worked, and I did end up with perfectly good double weave. So this works for me, and hopefully it will work for you. Next, pickup stick B. For pickup stick B, we will be putting both of these into the up position, as well as this pickup stick, so that all the threads that have already been assigned hole slots, pickup stick, all already have their proper place, will be out of my way, and the threads that are left, those I will be picking up with my second pickup stick, and I will show you how after the edits. So, heddle one. We go up, different here, one by one. Sometimes they're both up. Here is my pickup stick A, also put on edge. There we go, everyone is up. This is very slippery, but this is going to be a bit hard, but we will manage in the end. There we go, everyone's up, and we have a very narrow shed here in between, and this is where we will be picking up the stitches. Well, I keep saying stitches, I'm a knitter. The threads, we'll be picking up the threads for the pickup stick B. Look, sheds, you can see my top. So this is going to be, thanks camera, this this is my top fabric, and this is going to be my bottom fabric, these two. And for that to happen, I have to put in my pickup stick. You see I have tensioning issues, by the way. I'm gonna put my pickup stick all the way over there, and I'm going to do it off camera to make sure. Look, I'm already picking up threads at the back. If my camera could show you. No, it's refusing to show you my mistakes. Anyway, it's not doing it perfectly well. That's why I will be doing it off camera properly. You can also try to do it in between here. So you can see there's one little stray thread over there that I will have to figure out where it belongs. But that can also help if you're having trouble with the bottom shed, to do it in the middle and to then transfer your actual pickup stick over here. So off camera, because I need more hands for this. Another thing that can help you is looking at the bottom of your loom. And you can see over here, there's a bit that doesn't make sense. That's two threads that are being picked up or not being picked up by the pickup stick B. Other than that, it looks pretty good. So I will be checking where this one belongs, this stray thread. But other than that, it looks pretty good. Okay, this should be it. I've got my front handle and my back handle. I've got pickup stick A and pickup stick B. And it looks like they are doing what they have to do. Now, I really recommend reading the blog post I linked in the description, because it's just so good, and referring to this picture over here, where it explains very clearly how the positioning of the heddle corresponds to the layer you are working on. And it also allows you to just follow that while you are weaving when you get stuck or you forget where you were. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of a test with these cardboard sticks and see where everything ends up. So first we start on the bottom layer. So we will be working in some kind of U, round and round. And we start on the bottom layer, then we go to the top layer, to the full top layer, left and right. And then we end with the bottom layer once more. So we basically go bottom, top, top, bottom. Now, we start with putting pickup stick B, that's the bottom one, on edge, while the other heddles are neutral. That gives us a little shed over here. So that is the first shed of the bottom layer. Now we are going onto the top layer. Heddle 2, back heddle is going up. This is the first shed of the top layer. Top layer is the easiest one because it's visible and it looks like exactly like what you usually do. And once again, I have found a crossed thread. I can't fucking believe that this keeps happening. Amazing. Amazing. I'm just going to ignore that for a second. Down. Then we have pickup stick A on edge for the other layer in, well, the other part of our top layer. Just putting my cardboard in there. Now we are going back into the bottom layer, and that is done by doing the front shed on the bottom. Now, right now I'm not paying attention to when I'm leaving left to right, etc. I will be doing that once I am using actual yarn. This is just for the cardboard and to do my first tests. Just putting these in there. Bottom. These look like they are pretty well separated. Okay, this heddle goes back into neutral. There we go. So, if all is well, I should basically be able to separate these two. So we have a top layer and a bottom layer. That seems to be fine. Looks like that's working. I don't know if you can see this on camera. I have two layers. Bottom layer and top layer. There they are. And then it will be time to actually weave. And actually pay attention to where I'm going when with the yarn. So I mentioned that this left bit is the problem zone where things got messed up while I was still threading my heddles, and this is once again where I got a crossed thread. Now, how did I deal with that? I didn't feel like untying these once more. I did it like 5 times. So what I did is just I moved the part which crossed down and I held it with my finger while I put the cardboard sticks in, so the stick is holding the cross, which means that it's no longer crossed over there. I just moved the crossing bit over there. This is, you know, probably a sin in weaving or something, but I couldn't handle it anymore. I just want to weave. I don't want to set up anymore. It's weaving time. We're still weaving, and it's a beautiful day, but we have discovered a mistake. So this entire time I figured I had done something wrong in the tie-up, because in the edge I kept having 2 threads over here. So I thought, well, I missed something somewhere. Something went wrong. Oh well, it'll just be like that. But then I discovered that my order was apparently off. Now I don't know if I misread the instructions, I did something wrong, or I don't know, the stars weren't aligned right. But bottom fabric is controlled by first putting this one down, go left to right, put my second pickup stick down, go right to left, and then what I thought was put second heddle up, go left to right, put sticky up, go right to left. Turns out it's actually put sticky up, left to right, put heddle up, right to left. That is giving me a better result, even though it means I now go heddle, stick, stick, heddle, instead of what I thought I had to do, which was heddle, stick, heddle, stick. If it works, it works. I guess the lesson is, if something is going wrong, don't just assume that that's the way it's going to be, but maybe it's fixable. And maybe it's fixable before you get a very big end in. Oh well. So here it is. It took me a while, as you might have noticed by the multiple outfit changes. The project ended up looking better than I feared it would. I didn't only have trouble with the setup, I also ran out of yarn and I couldn't get more of it in the same color. It was also my first time weaving with linen and it was a bit fussy. I feared the fabric would be too open in the end, but I threw it into the washing machine on a 40 degrees Celsius cycle and in the dryer, and it fluffed up nicely. Taking a good picture of it didn't work though, since it's so big. It's a sauna towel, and my daughter keeps running off with it during the daylight hours. Anyway, thank you for joining me on this perilous journey. I still don't know what went wrong with the weaving order, but I do know what to look out for on my next try. And maybe you do too now. Will I get into trouble if I mention what color yarn I'm weaving with? Who's to say? Happy Pride!